Right, welcome back. You're watching Sport on Primetime. Now, my guest tonight is Kenny Chilwane and John McEnroy, and they represent the Unogwaja Challenge, which is it's basically the impossible before taking on the comrades, is it not? John, you're going to have to bring us in on what happens, because it's a 10-day event to get to the comrades from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg, and then everybody runs the comrades.
Well, that's what it is on the surface. It's a 10-day cycle from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg, followed by the comrades, and it was inspired by a man in 1931 who won the comrades. His nickname was Unogwaja. His name was Phil Masterton Smith, and he won the comrades and became the youngest ever comrades win in 1931. But in 1933, he lived in Cape Town, and he couldn't afford the train from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg to take part, but something inside him said he wanted to be there and he had to get there. So he got in his bicycle and he cycled all the way to Pietermaritzburg, and that's in essence how this story began. But now what it has turned into is for me the most important thing about this thing. It's brought so many South Africans together, and now we're an official charitable trust that focuses on primary school education and serving the people that find themselves within that group.
So Kenny, how did you get involved in Unogwaja? And 10 days in the saddle before you run the comrades. It's no mean feat, is it?
Absolutely right, yes. I actually got invited by a colleague of mine that we met at one of my spinning classes, because I'm involved with the spinning at the Virgin Active classes. And 2016, he invited me to his benefit gala dinner. And the long and short of it is that little did I know that it was a trap. You know, he was setting me up for 2017, and he just encouraged me. And quite frankly, the story of Unogwaja really pulsated actually with my heart and my spirit.
Right.
Like as John has alluded to that, it's really not a challenge as such. For me, it's more of a story of hope, a story of adversity, a story of inspiration. You know, that where, you know, together as South Africans, you know, we need to get to a point where we need to, you know, stop complaining, really,
right,
standing on the by side and just making a lot of noise about this and that not happening, but instead roll up our sleeves and get things done for ourselves.
Right. So, John, over the 10 days, you visit 10 towns that normally would just be, you know, drive-through kind of flyover towns, and then you interact with the communities as well and get them involved and excited. Explain a little bit about that.
Well, I think that's at the heart of how this story has evolved. We've had so many interactions with so many South Africans along the way that has just been inspiring and has led to so many partnerships and relationships. And I think so often a lot of giving is based on, you know, seeing a need and just giving, and it's almost unequal, and it's almost like a handout principle. We are exposed to such courage and adversity and resilience that we are just inspired to walk this path with people, and that is in essence what Unogwaja is about. It's about seeing people who have so much in them that you know, sometimes the opportunities don't equate to the perseverance and the stories of each of these people, and we just are. It's been such a privilege to be able to support such people. I mean, there's a story of a girl who she's from a small school in Ask Eaton, which most people would never have heard of. It's about 30 kilometers outside of Queenstown, and it was just her light and her spark to get to know us, to want to be part of us, that has now brought us to her. We met her family, we met her uncle, who's the teacher at the local school, and now suddenly we're going to be working with the school, but we're on the same path, we're on the same level. We are responding to their inspiration, and,
right,
and it's been remarkable. And I mean, we're working with an incredible school in Umselinga Primary School, which is like 6 kilometers outside Pietermaritzburg, and yet it's almost like a forgotten place. You know, people, half of the kids at the school have never been to Pietermaritzburg, and it's 6 kilometers away. And last year, when Nathaniel and the group of the 2016 Unogwaja team arrived in Pietermaritzburg, to have the 1,000 kids, or it was actually just over 1,200 kids of Umselinga in their red socks together and part of the story. The story is not just about also focusing on education. It's also focusing on like inspiring what is inside us as South Africans, to stand together, to stand next to each other. So it's been a really beautiful ongoing story, and I hope it's just the beginning.
And Kenny, I suppose that also resonates with you. Do you feel like you're going to have enough time on this journey you're going to take towards Pietermaritzburg get the maximum value out of what you guys are hoping to achieve.
Absolutely, yes. Look, I think the story goes a long way. It goes deeper than just being physically ready and getting to Pietermaritzburg on time, but more all about getting the message out there, you know, and saying, you know, it's all about togetherness, you know. Let's all put all our efforts together, and it's actually unbelievable as to how much together as a team, how much we can achieve.
Yeah.
And this again for me, it's really, you know, very inspirational. It's a noble cause that I think, you know what, I would very much wish and pray that I would want to see almost each and every South African in the future getting involved in initiatives like Unogwaja and getting things done out there.
So it seems to me, John, that Unogwaja is not just focusing on communities, but also specifically on individuals that might have stories to tell. It must be quite an organization to keep track of everything and to make sure that everything gets done in a way that'll give a lasting benefit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've learned along the way. Every single year we are learning, we're growing. We're reliant on so many South Africans like Kenny who are putting themselves out there, who are willing to give more of themselves than even you can imagine. And the key thing for us is to have those relationships with people on the ground. There is no ways that I can know what is happening in Ask Eaton, and no degree, no amount of knowledge or good intention can ever really understand what is happening in a community like that. We have to rely on people whose eyes and ears and hearts are involved in that community, who see that community, and we have to trust and work with them. And it's an ongoing thing, and we're learning all the time, but it's a really important part of the success of our projects to date. And like, we have an incredible, I mean, for me, Langa Township is one of the lights of this country, and I've been lucky enough to play hockey and cricket for Langa I remember Tami Tolikile inviting me to play cricket for Langa in 2001. I've been involved in Langa for 15 years. It is such an incredible place of hope, and it has it's had Tami, it's Lungile Tolikile, we've had South African international hockey rugby players, we've had Temba Bavuma, who we are so proud of. That small township has bred excellence, and yet there's a lot of adversity, there's a lot of tough things that are going on there, and to be working inside Langa as Unogwaja, we're at home there. We work with people we've known for years and years and years. There's genuine relationships. There's involvement of, it's not just outside. The projects are not reliant on us.
Yeah.
The projects are reliant on the people inside, because they are the people with the inspiration, with the more resilience than I could ever dream of. Riding a bike from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg compared to some of the average life in Langa or Umsalinga or where we've been working. It doesn't even, it's not even a big
Absolutely.
thing.
Well, Kenny, it sounds like this project found you in certain respect, but how do people get involved in Unogwaja?
The process generally is that you apply once the applications get opened, actually in around August, September every year, and they actually opened at a global scale. So basically, the 12 team members that are involved each year on Unogwaja. Remember that this actually open at a global scale. So you really you apply online and you go through a process of selection and some online interviews. And obviously that goes with a certain degree of your achievements in terms of sporting codes, primarily on running and cycling.
Okay.
And then after that, obviously it's all about character, your determination, how passionate actually are you towards actually fulfilling this cause.
Well, gentlemen, we wish you all the best in this little journey that you're going to be taking, but that it has a lasting impact on people's lives, which it seems like that's the aim that you guys are fulfilling. Thanks so much.
Thanks for your time, man. It's good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Brilliant. Right now, in cycling news, Slovenia's Jan Polanc of